How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan. Born to battle. Some just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the sun shines bright, that's where we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. And Emmanuel Acho is doing everything that he can to try and convince everybody that George Pickens shouldn't be at minicamp or considering playing for the Dallas Cowboys under the franchise tag. To keep it a buck, Cowboys Nation, it's getting pretty pathetic. Acho has spent the last few days trying to cope with the fact that George Pickens is going to play on the franchise tag to the point where it's becoming a little sickening, Cowboys Nation. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to the guys over on Speakeasy as Emmanuel Acho tries to talk them into agreeing with him over this whole George Pickens situation.
Is there any circumstance George Pickens should play on the franchise tag for the Cowboys this year?
That's tough. Man, I'm gonna really have this. I'm gonna have to sit down if I'm him with Dave and Trey. That's his other guy that works with Dave, not Trey White.
I wish. I know he's getting real money over there.
And kind of just we gotta really bounce these ideas off each other, because the player in you wants to play, but the businessman says, "Damn, I got to do what's best for me." But I'm not letting this $27 million go. I'm set for life with this $27 million. I'm just trying to set everybody else up in my family with the rest of this contract. But do we play? Yeah. At some point, yeah, and that's tough to say. But I just don't believe the Cowboys want to.
That's what I'm talking about, TJ Housemanzada. Emmanuel Acho asked Housemanzada the question. Then, during the whole segment, he tries his hardest to talk him out of his answer. TJ said that he would play. He wouldn't allow the $27.2 million to just walk out the front door. I mean, it blows my mind how desperate Emmanuel Acho sounds over the past few days when it comes to another man's decision to want to be there for his teammates and want to play while on the franchise tag. I'm telling you, Cowboys Nation, this is starting to become a little obsessive, if you ask me. Now let's go ahead and get into the second clip so we can come back and talk about it. Roll that clip.
Here's what I think. I think it would be negligent of his representation to both advise and, as much as possible, allow him to play.
They not advising. They not going to advise him to play. I mean, your representation is going to do what is best for you. But we, the player, we get nervous. We get a little nervous. Like, damn, $27 million? Nah, you telling me not to play, Dave. You know what I was making last year? You know what my check was every week? You know what my check gonna be this year every week? Like, he gonna be making like 1.6 million every Monday.
So peep this. So Dave would say, look at what Deshaun did. He went and got $230 million, highest paid quarterback in the NFL history. He would say, hey, look at what Micah did. He went and got $45 million, highest paid defensive end in NFL history. He would say, hey, look at what Earl Thomas did. He went and got $20 million from the Ravens, highest paid safety in NFL history. He would say, hey, look what Jalen Ramsey did. He went and got $100 million, highest paid cornerback in NFL history. He would say, hey, I just showed you 4 different positions over 4 different years on 4 different teams that followed this template and became the highest paid at their position in the history of the NFL. I could do the same for you. Yeah. And you would ignorantly be like, but I want to go play.
Yeah, but this the same guy that said my agent told me not to come to OTAs.
You know, Cowboys Nation, we have heard these weak-ass reasons before from Emmanuel Acho. We've heard the comparisons that he's said as well. Mind you, the comparisons make absolutely no sense because it's like comparing apples to oranges. Doesn't Speakeasy have something else to report on, or are they so desperate that they have to speak about another man's pockets 3 nights in a row? Whatever gives them clicks, I guess. Now let's go ahead and get into the third clip so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut.
For him, though, it's also he understands what it's like to be in a situation where he won't be fed the same way that he's been fed. And I think that matters, though. You have 4 years or 3 years in Pittsburgh. You come here to Dallas and you ball out crazy. You have the best year of your entire career. I think it's a different situation for him just thinking, I can leave and go ball anywhere else. Nah, I've seen in other situations, if they're not willing to really feature me or they don't have the situation, what happens if the Cardinals are offering me more money than any other team? I'm not putting up 1,400 in that offense.
You're not.
Not with Jacoby Brisket throwing me the damn ball.
Brisket. Wow.
You know what I mean?
But see, Kieran, the fact of the matter is, respectfully, NFL players, when you get in that first fortune, the only thing that matters is a fortune.
Kieran is absolutely correct. George Pickens has it good in Dallas in more ways than one. He has it good on the field, good off the field, and he will have it great if he decides to retire a Dallas Cowboy. But let's dive into this a little bit more, shall we? Y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, raw and uncut.
Man, keeping it real. Man, keep it real. That's real.
All right, Cowboys Nation, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all real quick. I am sick and tired of covering this George Pickens situation with Speakeasy. This is the third consecutive show that Speakeasy has spoke about George Pickens, and first not showing up to minicamp. Emmanuel Acho was wrong on that. Now it's showing up to mandatory minicamp. He kind of brushed it off. He didn't want to admit that he was wrong in the second show that they did. But in this one, he's pulling out all the stops. He's going all out to try and convince George Pickens not to play for the Dallas Cowboys on the franchise tag. And it's specifically the Dallas Cowboys because I'm going to give you an example. He wants to throw out examples. I'll give you one example of somebody that's represented by David Mulugeta, but he's not going hard in the paint for him. But this is the second time that someone's went above and beyond trying to talk about George Pickens, his contract situation, and talking him out of playing with the Dallas Cowboys. The first time it was Chad Ochocinco over on Nightcap, and now it's Emmanuel Acho. Why is it so important to him for George Pickens not to play on the franchise tag? What incentive does Emmanuel Acho have if George Pickens decide to not play for the Dallas Cowboys and just sit in or hold in during training camp? Bro acts as if his life would be affected if George Pickens decided to go out there and play for the Dallas Cowboys. But one thing I'm a big proponent on is speaking things into existence. This is also something that I don't understand for the life of me because some Cowboys fans do it too. Why are y'all just putting injury out in the ether? What happens if George Pickens get injured on the franchise tag? First and foremost, let's stop pretending as if y'all give a damn if he gets injured or not, especially Cowboys fans. Let's stop acting like him getting injured is the main reason why y'all don't want this man to play on the franchise tag. It sounds disingenuous as a mother. Some Cowboys fans don't want him playing on the franchise tag due to the salary cap, something y'all haven't given a shit about if you wanted to bring a top-tier player to this team. In Acho's case, the reason why he's so intrigued with George Pickens playing on the franchise tag is because David Mulugeta is Emmanuel Acho's boy, and he's doing the dirty work for him on his platform. Let's not act like it's not a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of mentality when it comes to the talking heads and these players' agents. Emmanuel Acho will get on his platform and cover the things George Pickens' agent wants him to cover in hopes of getting it back to George Pickens. It makes it look as if the agent didn't say it, even though it is coming from the agent. And Acho wants to bring up all these examples of players holding out to get their bread. How about you give examples of players that didn't work for? How about you give examples of players that kind of fired David Mulugeta when he tried to get him to hold out or go to a different team. T. Higgins comes to mind. Oh, I know why you won't do that. It's because it goes against this bullshit-ass narrative that you're trying to paint about the situation. Also, George Pickens isn't the only one that's out there playing on the franchise tag. To my knowledge, the Atlanta Falcons franchise tag Kyle Pitts as well. I don't see him going so hard in the paint to talk Kyle Pitts out of not playing on the franchise tag. And guess who Kyle Pitts is represented by? David Mulugeta. So it's really boiling down to the fact that George Pickens is playing for the Dallas Cowboys, so that's why you don't want him playing on the franchise tag, huh, Emmanuel Acho? If it was about the franchise tag solely, you would be banging on the table for Kyle Pitts to be holding in as well. But for the life of me, I cannot understand why these talking heads get on their platforms and continue to just loiter in these players' pockets. Why these guys are so adamant and worried about these guys playing on the franchise tag. It's not like y'all gonna give up any type of money if he misses games. Y'all not gonna be there to pat him on his shoulder whenever he missing game checks. This is $27.2 million for this dude, and y'all acting like he's just giving up $5 or something. This is generational wealth to some people. $27.2 million will set somebody for life, Cowboys Nation. And Emmanuel Acho just sitting here acting like it's just a couple dollars that you could just throw away. Like other teams in the league aren't going to be looking at this guy wanting to hold in. You're going to be messing up your future if you decide to take Emmanuel Acho's advice on this situation. I'm sorry, Cowboys Nation, but we got to look toward the Dallas Cowboys' future, hopefully going after a Super Bowl, and that's something that George Pickens wants to help this organization with. He said it in his press conference. He wants to help this organization and the players who haven't had a Super Bowl try to attain a Super Bowl. Why are people just giving a negative look on that? Why are people turning up their noses to a person who everybody thought was going to crash out and be a child when it came to this whole situation, the whole decision, but like a man, came up, took it on the chest, said that he's going to bet on himself, and now he's at minicamp with his team. This is his team. This is his brotherhood. And you're sitting there trying to go against his brotherhood, trying to go against the decision that he made. Why? For David Mulugeta. This is what I'm talking about, Cowboys Nation. You can look it up. You can go ahead and Google it. Him and David Mulugeta are friends. He said it on Speakeasy before. No wonder he's going so hard in the paint against George Pickens playing for the Dallas Cowboys. One, because they're friends. Two, because Emmanuel Acho's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, or at least when Shady McCoy is on the whole show, that's when he becomes a Philadelphia Eagles fan, stroking the Eagles. No diddy. But I'm going to keep it real with you, Cowboys Nation. I'm getting sick and tired of even covering Speakeasy when they talk about George Pickens, because it seems like they're going to be talking about George Pickens until the July 15th deadline. And then after that, it's going to rev up even more if the Dallas Cowboys don't get a deal done with him. So I hope that the Dallas Cowboys get a deal done with George Pickens before July 15th so that he can be a Dallas Cowboy for the foreseeable future. And let's see what the gripe is from Emmanuel Acho after that, because there's going to be gripes, because you know that Speakeasy and the other talking head networks, the shows that they put on, they're going to have to pay the light bill somehow. They're going to have to get their money, their clicks, and their views, and what better way to get it than by talking about the Dallas Cowboys 24/7. And Kieran, salute, brother. I appreciate you going hard in the paint for the Dallas Cowboys and the fan base. At least we have one representative on that damn show that actually gives a damn about the team winning or losing. It seems like anybody else doesn't, especially Shady McCoy and Emmanuel Acho, because they're so tight at the hip and loving the Philadelphia Eagles that they want their rivals to just fall off the face of the earth. And what better way to do that than to take one of their wide receiver weapons in George Pickens away from them. But George Pickens, if you're watching Speakeasy, cover your ears, plug your ears. Don't listen to the negativity. Don't listen to the BS. You made a decision to bet on yourself and continue to bet on yourself because it's a winning bet. But Cowboys Nation, I'm telling you like this. This is going to be the last time that I cover Speakeasy when it comes to the George Pickens contract situation. Because we saw, like I said, in the first video, Emmanuel Acho predicted that George Pickens was going to show up and not do a damn thing. Him and Shady McCoy said that. They were proved wrong. So the second video, they go in trying to talk him out of playing. He played. They were wrong. Now this video, he's pretty much saying that George Pickens is an idiot for showing up to Dallas Cowboys minicamp, putting on that helmet and going to work. Man, I'm not trying to hear that no more. So hopefully they can get some material they can work with. They don't have to rely on the Dallas Cowboys and the drama with George Pickens, because the offseason has been super quiet for the Dallas Cowboys, so they have to speak about something. Let's go ahead and give them something to speak about, Jerry Jones. This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, I am sorry that I have to make another video about Speakeasy in the pockets of George Pickens, trying to convince him not to show up to minicamp. But what do you think about it, Cowboys Nation? What do you think about what TJ Houshmandzadeh, Kieran, and Emmanuel Acho had to say during this segment of Speakeasy? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help get the word out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on this video, share with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device and you haven't used them up yet, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will help get the word out to Cowboys Nation. They'll come over to the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel and want to become Angry Cowboys fans themselves. And if you are DC for life and you're getting sick and tired of the cock blocking from Emmanuel Acho, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release another video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. Also, if you're into Madden 26 or College Football 26 or Mortal Kombat talk, check out my other YouTube channel, the Angry Gaming Fan YouTube channel. I'll make sure I put the link to that as well as the gamer tag in the description. But Cowboys Nation, like I said before in this video, I am a proponent in talking good things, speaking good things, and putting it out in the ether. So George Pickens this year is going to play on the franchise tag if they don't get a deal done, and he's going to go out there, he's going to ball out, and at the end of the year, they're not going to franchise tag him in the next offseason. What they're going to do, they're going to give him a long-term, lucrative deal with a lot of guarantees ahead of him. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Y'all got to get a life and get out of George Pickens' pockets. And I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys Fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.